Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh, I don't even know what video I picked. Don't even know. I haven't got to it. I'm not rich. I don't have the super YouTube. I take the commercials and well, this is great. Oh, you can't rewind it. Anyways, it's a for the liberals here in Ontario. We're gonna vote who is gonna be our premier over here. And well, she lets out some secrets. I love how they tell on each other. She mentions about Elon, how Ford is making a deal with Elon for Ontario's Wi-Fi. Is that the plan? I'm just wondering. Like, why would you be hooking up a deal with? Why wouldn't that be one of the first things? Hey, boys, you want to fuck around and find out? We don't want any of your services. But we can talk about what a useless bunch of fucking twitwads my country is if you guys want. There's nobody in here. Ah, anyways. So yeah, I find that interesting. Like, is that the plan? Are we just all going to use Elon's Wi-Fi and trust that it's good and that it's like looks like a Dyson sphere around the fucking Earth? I, I, I don't know. These are questions we need to ask ourselves as humanity. Hey, was X Elon's son onto something when he said, "Hey, Daddy's doing stuff," and you guys don't know what it is? I mean, you guys go out to go check that out. What's up, little pumpkin seed? You think I'm the pumpkin seed, AAD? Think long and hard what you think hell is, bud. Think long and hard, because you're the one that supposedly believes in it, bud. You know what I mean? Think long and hard before you come fucking spit on me, brother. Because I come here from the authority of God, not the authority of men. And I do not let men have authority over me. You know what I mean, AD? I own and operate my own fucking brain, and I come to my own conclusions with facts and conversations. But unfortunately, there's not conversations out there to be had. But yet, I ask you a lot of questions all the time, and you run like a little scared bitch from them. You know what I mean? Why don't you want to face yourself, buddy? I'd rather face myself if I were you than think about what hell is. Is it an eternity of damnation? I don't know, Brad. Show me an alien then. What do the aliens have to do with being in the truth, brother? You know what I mean? The two don't go hand in hand. Prove you're Jesus. I'm not Jesus, dude. I'm in the Christ. So I am Jesus. You know, like he said, I am. When you're with the Christ, you just know you are. You know what I mean? I just am. I was a dead man from birth. Don't hold on to stupid shit on the earth just to think that you're living. Because if you're not living through the truth, AD, it's just a waste of a trip. You know what I mean? What happens after it? I don't know, dude. I've been trying to show you that I have had an experience from God. You haven't wanted to hear it or have a conversation about it, AD. That's the problem with you humanoids. You're incapable of conversation if you have to face that you're not really who you say you are. You know what I mean, brother? It's better to let her all go. Find out who you actually are through Christ. You can be in Jesus too, but you don't fucking get it, do you? AD, you belong to God. The devil can do whatever he wants here. He can get in your brain and but you're ending. And same with these fucking shitheads who fucking serve Satan, knowingly have little ceremonies. They're fucking stupid little clowns, AD, playing stupid fucking games because they were lied to. There's only one way out, dude, and it's through the truth. And you don't want to accept it. And when you don't want to accept the truth, bud, you get cut off. It says it right in the Bible. Hey, are you growing fruit, AD? Are you spending your time here on earth wisely? Those are things that only you can answer for yourself, brother. But if I were you, I'd get with the truth because I'm telling you, I come from God. You think this is a fucking joke? Well, you're the joke's on you, brother. You're a clown in a circus, being the little monkey doing whatever they want you to do, thinking you can't do anything about it because you're just a monkey. They have all the power because they have the money, and you believe them. And you've told me yourself, you think they're child fuckers, yet you do nothing. Then come on YouTube and try and make yourself feel good about putting others down instead of seeing others down and trying to bring them up. You know what I mean? It's what I've always been trying to do with you folks. Once you don't understand it, show me where I'm wrong. I'm not always right. I'm a human. Just because I say I come from God, don't mean I'm fucking perfect. Because ain't none of those men in the Bible were perfect. You know what I mean? They all had a story to prove that they were with God. All I ever asked is, show me where I might be wrong. And he couldn't take the time. But you wanted to bash me and smash me and spit in my face and threaten me, AD. You're only threatening yourself, brother. You know what I mean? See, this is real to me. I know I'll be hated by everybody. You know what I mean, dude? But here's the dilemma that I'm in, AD, where, you know, I keep asking for help. Doesn't seem to be there. You know what I mean? From the healthcare system, I think they brutalized my fucking brain. You know what I mean? The police, you can't ask them for help. In fact, someone can say, hey, if he leaves, when the cop's saying, hey, you should leave, you should find a new place to live. And then the other person says, hey, he leaves, money gone. And well, might be taking another trip to the hospital. And you look at the cop and you're like, hey, bud, what gives? When you have to pick me up, are you gonna fucking stick up for me or are you gonna do your fucking job? He wouldn't answer me like a fucking coward. That's who our police are today. You know what I mean? Hey, they know. They took me to the hospital every fucking time. Was I ever out of my mind or crazy or fucking resisting or throwing a fit? No, because that's what they want you to do, because that should be a normal reaction to what the fuck is going on. I didn't do anything. And that's most people's normal reaction. And then they get them to fucking go out of line and act all crazy. But hey, when you're playing for God and you know the fools you're playing against, just let the receipts rack up, AAD. No, they're like the Keystone Cops, and I can show it. You know what I mean? Hey, vintage. When I say I'm the Mashiach and the Messiah, I fucking like I pass a lie detector test. You know what I mean? I've been willing to see what's going on in my brain. I've been willing to say, hey, does anybody know King David's blood type? Whatever, fuck, can we give this a try? Anything, you know what I mean? Is there a consciousness detector or something? You know what I mean? But Like, the cops, they look like idiots, like, hey, when somebody breaks the rules, when they're not around supposed to be around somebody that they've already assaulted, and the police get called again and again and again and again, and they do nothing, but then when they finally do something, they remove the problem. The problem can't handle the situation, and, well, they start having an anxiety attack. They have to go to the hospital. Do you know what the fucking lazy cops do? 'Cause you can't deny them the hospital if they're having an anxiety attack, right? So they take them to the hospital, and then they drop them right back in the place where they committed the fucking crime. Then that person can't even grab enough control of themselves to stay out of the part with you. They're not supposed to be even near you. You can record a video, and because it doesn't show their face, but just their voice, nothing the cops can do because they have to be called again because you're being harassed and you fucking just want to go to sleep and you're fucking being drove crazy and the cops won't do anything about it. But then they still won't. They're like, no, we'd have to see. We just can't believe you, Carl. We can't tell by the audio of me sitting there saying, hey, you're not supposed to be here. Like, did you fucking learn your lesson? Hey, no, you can't. Didn't even want to fucking hear it. What a bunch of fucking losers. This is the world we live in. Fucking cops who act like that. I come on here, Vintage, and I say, hey, CAS stole a baby from our house. Seems awfully odd. Would anybody like to talk to me about it? Because I got real fucking problems with it. Hey, it's all over a lie or a miscommunication or something. Can we sit down and talk so, you don't keep a baby away from its family for 3 fucking months? 3 months, 3 months, and the only reason you get the baby and you don't have to keep spending money in court is because, well, it becomes easier just to give it to you because the people who are fostering the baby have ran into some problems and can't take care of it. So it's beneficial and less work for CAS to continue their charade and steal people's fucking money over something that if they just would have sat down, had a fucking conversation, none of it had to happen. But no, they're so sneaky and fucking gross. Systems of fucking disaster. Where else do you go for spiritual help? Well, Michael Della Rocha wasn't really much help. You know what I mean? Telling 80,000 people I was a demon because I asked him about when are we gonna change the world? Isn't that for the children? And then he accused me of swearing at women, and that was after multiple chances because he turned me down because I didn't offer a big enough donation to talk to him because maybe we could have settled it mano a mano, but spirituality to these days is it's gotta cost you something, you know what I mean? $50 wasn't enough for a conversation. I didn't know. Where else do you go? "Hey, let's try a leader. Hey, let's try the guy who's trying to fucking run for fucking mayor. Let's tell him about your situation and how the average person can get themselves locked down in their own fucking home with no fucking help." You know what I mean? Well, you ask the guy, you say, "Hey," because you call him, you have to pace around for, like, 6 fucking hours to get the fucking nerve to do it. So you finally do it, and he's like, "Well, I'm on my way to dinner. Whatever you got to say, let's talk about it now, because I ain't got." Well, why do you give your fucking number out, you fucking idiot, if you're not willing to talk to people? But second of all, like, I'm telling this guy, "No, man. No, I need to tell you this story, like, not, like, in a second, because if I tell you, Cliff Notes, you're just gonna fucking use it against me." Sure enough, I have to say, "Hey, bud, I'm in a bad situation. I've been hospitalized 5 times." And as soon as I say that, all of a sudden, I'm a nut bird, and he doesn't wanna hear anymore. You know what I mean? Now, I don't have proof like, I have proof that that conversation went on, there'd be phone records, right? But I don't record everything that you know what I mean? I just that's what the conversation took part. If me and Chris Sky ever had the chance to for me to say, "You're just not a man of the people like you say you are. You're quite the piece of shit." You know what I mean? Been paying attention. You look like a good freedom fighter, but you're not much of a humanitarian, you know what I mean? Where else do you go? Well, hey, you think you're chosen, you go to others who say they're chosen. So when you see somebody who you think's getting fucked over by everybody, kind of like the same way you are, because it's hard to explain because you know when you say you're getting fucked over by everybody, you're sounding like a victim. And there's no way that, somebody's been hospitalized 5 fucking times when they never should have been hospitalized. You know what I mean? It's hard to say, "Hey, my workplace fucked me over. Someone just tried to destroy me, almost fucking killed me, lied about it, made themselves look like the hero and myself the villain." But here's the deal, Vintage. When I get to prove whether I'm the Mashiach or not, we'll get to take a look at the video, and we'll get to take a look at the fella's statement, and, well, we'll get to see just how far a human will go to fucking get themselves so they don't get hurt from their own fucking mistakes. It's what humanity's all about, protecting itself instead of fucking taking responsibility for its fucking shitty ass mistakes. Where else can we go with this? Fuck. You know what I mean? The Ministry of Labor's no help. Hey, you're concerned about somebody's death, and maybe if you listen to me, maybe we can make another one from not happening again. But you know what I mean? The Ministry of Labor, why are they to care about us? You know what I mean? Fuck. But then again, they didn't give a fuck about me neither. Even when I asked them, hey, it's peculiar. Why won't the place I work for like 20 years give me an investigation? Like, hey, at least show me where I'm wrong. All come together and show me because it's kind of hard sitting out here in la la land where no one will fucking talk to you. And yet you're the crazy person. And you ask those people for answers and they block you. And hey, Vintage, I get to show you how you save people's jobs. They'll still fuck you to keep that job. They'll stand up for the people who wanted you fucking fired. It's a weird world we live in. People are fucking dirty, dirty, scummy, and you gotta watch it because it's the ones closest to you. You gotta pay attention. You know what I mean? God knows our hearts. You know what I mean? You can play whatever role you want on the outside, but hey, when you gotta come to the truth and well, you just weren't the person you thought you were. Can you imagine paying the ultimate price for fucking protecting yourself when actually you would have been protecting everybody if you just would have told the truth. You know what I mean? What the truth is, or what their truth is, I don't know, Vintage, but it sure would be nice to know what it is. You know what I mean? Why would you hide what you think happened? You know what I mean? But hey, behind the closed door, and there's nothing that person can do. uh, What happens to your life, buddy? I don't fucking care. Even though this place had you to the point where you wanted to kill yourself, and my actions, if they get you to kill yourself, won't be on me because no one will ever know. Carl went crazy. Just crazy for no reason. Just boom. No, he got his world rocked. He found out people are not who they say they are, and the system is not what it presents itself to be. It's kind of a mess, Vintage. Like I've said, I'd like to take another person's story about being in the hospital in my story and compare the two and see how much time they got to spend in the hospital for what they did. And then they'd have to have one incident of fucking, you think they'd have to have one incident of violence on Carl, right? No, in fact, you can hospitalize somebody 5 times based on violence with zero evidence. It's like incarceration, wouldn't you think, Vintage? I couldn't even have a smoke if I wanted to. I had to quit. But they were nice enough to give me patches. You know what I mean? Forcing my will. Imagine that for violence. Like, should have to be some sort of incident, right? Like one, just fucking one. No, it's a man's world these days. No, it's not. And I'm not saying it's not a woman's world neither. I'm saying it's a narcissist's world. That's what it is. This world belongs to the big old narcissist, and he's got everybody in his fucking brains. You know what I mean? Everybody just loves to follow the sloth that makes them weak so they don't have to fucking face themselves. Shouldn't use their patches, quit cold turkey, but my smokes right when I got out. Well, I had to fucking, I was running for smokes too when I got out. I got stories on that too. The weird things that psychiatrists will do, right? I remember, I can't, I say I remember this happened. I lost track of time. Like, when you go in 5 times, you lose track of which time what happened. And I don't want to lie, Vintage. But one of the times where I pretty much said, hey, it's my environment that's got me all fucked up. So I think I got to change environments. And one of the women helped me, got me a place, all this stuff. All I had to do was call and get it all set up. And she helped me. And I'm quite sure that's documented. You know what I mean? When they do work at the hospital, they have to document it, right? So she was helping me get so I can be out on my own. Well, guess what? The old doc came and well, he's like, Carl, I'm gonna let you go home, but I'm gonna let you go home. I don't think it's a good idea that you go to this other place. And I'm like, hey, I think I keep ending up in here because you keep sending me back there. No, I think it'll be different this time, Carl. Can you imagine? It seems like a setup, you know what I mean? Hey, I've been telling I showed the doctor one time a video of someone lying about him, things that they said that he did and said, and he looked me straight in the eyes and said, "No, that never happened." And I still have that video. You know what I mean? I say to him, I say, "Hey, doc, you're a bright guy, right? You can fucking figure out that if she's willing to lie about that, what else is she willing to lie about?" I still haven't seen any proof on this violence or suicide, but like you keep dragging me in and out, and I'm trying to address my what, but you want me to suffer some more. But then, Vintage, this is the fucking weirdest shit, though. I'm telling you, God tells me to do the weirdest shit. Play the game right where you are, right in their face. You never did a thing to them. All you did was love them and want the best for them and want them to come to the truth, just like you want everybody else to come to the truth. You know what I mean? Vintage, do you know how hard that is to know that your same family is setting themselves up for the biggest fall in human history? It's been a weird ride, Vintage. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's a weird thing to love. the people the most that have hurt you. I love the people from Marwood. What they did for me brought me closer to God. I can you can't even the only way you can repay something like that is to convince them to try and get with God, to face their fucking reality, you know what I mean? It's the greatest gift you can give, and they gave it to me, so but here's the deal, you gotta learn to let people go, you know what I mean? You gotta forgive them and, well, hope that they come to terms with who they are and why did they do that? What inside of them made them so scared to not do the right things? You know what I mean? But what do we got? We got 6 people in here. Why we only got all the truth is in here? Well, here's the deal, Vintage. Like, this is a real scenario. Like, I don't think people understand. Put yourself like I always say, put yourself in my shoes. Can you imagine this? Imagine if this is happening to whoever's watching this video. Imagine thinking you've been freaking rip roaring all over the place through the fucking hospital system for violence and suicide, and there's zero evidence of any of that transpiring. In fact, the only violence that has transpired is upon yourself. So can you imagine sitting there on your fucking phone, a courtroom where the rest of your life is being determined whether you get to own and operate it? They take your ability to make your own decisions on your medicine, your money, and everything. I was never out of my head or out of control where I didn't know what fucking reality was. I was just trying to figure out what it was. I knew the reality everybody else was fucking living in. You know what I mean? Can you imagine? I was fucking so scared. My whole life depended on whether I could express myself well enough over a fucking screen. A screen, the rest of my life over a fucking screen. Well, yeah. What do you think's going on with all of them? Do you like, I think Justin Bieber wants to let loose on the whole Diddy thing, but can you imagine being that famous and he's gotta be scared. He doesn't know. Can you imagine not knowing who to trust? I don't even know whether to trust your own wife or not. You know what I mean? We all gotta let go of our fear. I hope Justin let go of his fear and just says, I don't care what anybody thinks or says. This is how shit went down or didn't go down. But if you don't release the truth, you can never find your way to God. You know what I mean? Like this is I don't understand how people don't get it when I say the truth is the way. Like that's the way Jesus said it. Hey, he said, pick up your cross. Picking up your cross doesn't mean being a pussy and fucking ignoring what the hell is going on around you. So standing up for the right things. The problem with society is we don't want to struggle anymore. We just want to feel good. No struggle. No figuring out our problems. We just don't, we'll ignore them. So they feel good. I'd rather face my problems. And that annoys people because people are my problem. You know what I mean? People like AD, people like Little Me, people like Colby, people like Upchurch. They let pedos run around and fucking rule the world because the pedos told them they were allowed to. They have no power. Hey, Andrea, how's it going? I got a Billy Graham video I'm going to do myself with Billy Graham. Maybe old Billy Graham was a prophet after all, eh? I'm going to lay down a prophecy that old Billy Graham laid down. We'll see. Maybe we can fucking bring back Billy Graham. He's a good old preacher, you know what I mean? That's what I think. Some say he was a Freemason and stuff like that. Well, even if he wasn't playing for the right side, he said a lot of the right things. You know what I mean? I think he was playing good. I think he was just disillusioned. And I think you can die with a lie. I mean, is you know what I mean? But be through the truth. It's just when the lie's presented to you and you fucking ignore it. That's when it becomes an issue. You know what I mean? I hope Billy's up there smiling with God right now. And we can prove that old Billy was a prophet. This prophecy's awesome, Andrea. You're gonna have to pay attention to the shorts. There's a couple I want to do. I'll tell you about another one I want to do. Yeah, see, I didn't know about Billy. Well, I always knew about Billy. Billy was popular, but I never listened to Billy until, you know, probably about 4 years ago. Anyways, there's this big deal about the fucking Germans and their swastika these days, eh? I want to bring the swastika back. You know why? Because it didn't belong to those shitheads. It belonged to like the native people, the Hopis, right in their stone. A big old swastika. It has meanings. Like this is the thing. They wanted the German people to think that Hitler was a fucking spiritual person. Just like they're trying to convince people that fucking old Trumper is a fucking spiritual person. You know, they were the Nazis. You guys are the megas. Anyways, what's it say? Swastika is a symbol used in various Eurasian religions and cultures, as well as a few African too. African. See, the devil went and took one of God's fucking things and turned it around and fucking gave it to himself. So all these fucking cultures feel bad and guilty if they wanted to use, their actual culture, they would be deemed hateful. In Western world, it's widely recognized as a symbol for German Nazi Party and who appreciated it for their party insignia started in the early 20th century. The appropriation continues with its use by neo Nazis around the world. The swastika continues to be used as a symbol of divinity and spirituality in Indian religions, including Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, and generally takes a form of a cross. A cross. Eh? A form of a cross. Oh, gee, oh, golly, oh, my. Do you think that's one of the devil's plans? Take it, give it to one of his people so God's people never pick up those things? Well, guess what? I'll use all what the devil thinks his tools are and use them against them and bring them back to God. Just like the rainbow flag, I'm going to bring that motherfucker back too and tell people it doesn't belong to sexuality anymore. It belongs to God. You know what I mean? It was supposed to represent his people, the colors of the rainbow. And the Dev went and stole that and gave it to his sexuality and said, hey, have some pride in this. You know what I mean? I give all the pride to God. And the only way to do that is, well, go through his son the truth and try and bring people to the truth. And that's the thing, Andrea, always remember, no man can bring you to the truth except for you. Only you can bring yourself to the truth. There's no guru that can take you there. There's no fucking, there's, I'm guaranteeing you. I hate to say this. I do, but I got to tell the truth. There's a lot of pastors that are really lacking truth, lacking some balls, knowing what Jesus actually fucking stood for. They'll tell you about the little foot washer, and well, remain to be a little sheep. I'm not buying the sheep story. I don't fucking buy it. You mean to tell me that Jesus would walk away from 99 people who were willing to be with the truth and go find one that didn't want the truth and try and force the truth on them to bring them back? No, Jesus is saying, hey, little sheep, little sheep, I'm always here, always. But you got to want me. I can't force myself on you. You got to want the truth for yourself. And I'll tell you what, the dev likes to go hard on the sheep thing too. Like we're taught as children, Baba black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, yes, sir. Well, I got 3 bags full. One for you, massa, and one for me, and one for the little boy who lives down the fucking lane. You know what I mean? Always working for the master. They teach you it's better to be a sheep. No, it's better to be bold in God. And well, you have to separate yourself from the herd right now in order to fucking be with God because there's a lot of weakness in the world and it's just following stupidity. Like I'm watching, I don't know how I missed it. I should have the alerts on James O'Keefe. I can't believe only 60,000 K views on that. But anyways, the fucking FBI, CIA, whoever the fuck it was, bust down his house and shit and fucking, tough guy him and, fucking rile him up and, you know what I mean? All because he got his hands on that fucking Ashley Biden diary, right? The one that there's a recording, if you guys go look, of Ashley saying, that's my fucking diary. I want it back. There's some weird shit in the fucking diary. You know what I mean? So why are the feds busting down O'Keefe's door and other people's doors, and now they got nothing on them? So can we fucking know if the diary's fucking real so you guys can deal with a fucking pedophile if that's the deal? You know what I mean? Why don't you close the fucking case completely? But hey, James O'Keefe asked for the records. You gotta go check this out for yourself. It's on his fucking YouTube. For the reasons for them to knock down the fucking doors and fucking strong arm them the way they did. Redacted. Just can you imagine being told you don't have the right to know why somebody fucking invaded your fucking home? You're so fucking afraid to let them know the truth? Like this is a joke. This world we live in is a fucking joke. They tell you people what you're gonna do, how you're gonna fucking do it. Fucking, you just don't see it though. Hey, they think that you guys are retarded. They need to fucking tell you guys the way it needs to be done. You know what I mean? It's all sorts of weird. Well, here's the thing. Well, did Christopher Wray not get a pardon? Did he? Was he part of the pardon group? Because under his watch, 51, 52 agents lied about a fucking laptop, and not a one got fucking fired or reprimanded or anything. That's treason. You misrepresent, you changed an election possibly because maybe that information, but then again, we still don't give a fuck vintage. You know why? Because we still don't know what's on the fucking laptop. Still don't know. You know what I mean? But Hunter gets pardoned right along with fucking Dr. Voodoo there. You know what I mean? And me knowing that there were guys asking to get sued from Fauci so they could get information about Fauci and AIDS out there, you know what I mean? It bothers me when a man's asking for Fauci to sue him for defamation so he can get the information out there. You know what I mean? Weird shit that we just don't fucking care or pay attention to because we do as we're told, because we're good little sheep. Bringing our master his bag. But when the master starts looking prettier than the old master, you know what I mean? We got the Trumper in there now as master. And well, he's a Caesar. He's already trying to gain lands and places that he shouldn't be. You know what I mean? You guys let me know where I'm wrong. You tell me where Donald Trump and fucking Netanyahu are anywhere near God. Anywhere near him. Like if I was the Israeli people, I'd be fucking having marches down the street saying, Netanyahu, hey, we want to be with God, not with you, bud. You got to go. You can't represent us. No more. We want peace with Palestine. We want them to know that we love them and we want the best for them. And that hopefully they feel the same about us because we're willing to tell our leader to go fucking eat shit because we don't want this no more. We don't want no more deaths on either side. Hey, we reap what we sow. If we want to be Israel and be stupid, we can stick by Netanyahu's side. Or Netanyahu can prove to me I'm a fucking idiot and that he's with God and he's doing God's work. God's work. He's not a fucking joke doing God's work. Netanyahu fucking in any time, in any place where you are fucking killing people, are you fucking insane? I'm like, fuck. It's a big joke, vintage. It's a big joke. It's a big joke. It's a big joke because we allow ourselves to get played. We don't play the game of life. We fear it. We fear the truth. We don't want to think it could ever happen. You know what I mean? There's no way I've been brainwashed and manipulated. I'm far better than those Nazis ever were. Uh, listen, I'm not trying to pick on America. I'm not. Because Canada is fucking dumber than America. Hey, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but America and Canada got in a fight before. America picked the fight, and well, quite frankly, I think it lost, but it went down as the war that was never won. But let me tell you how stupid the Canadians were. They were fighting the Americans so they wouldn't be free. You know what I mean? The Canadians, they liked being under the crown. Fucking King Turdfit or whoever the fuck was in charge then. Can you imagine fighting for a fucking king when you don't even live on the same land as that fucking turd, eh? We just all throughout history, we've just let turds run us, eh? Fucking kings and queens who tell us they're better than us. We buy onto it. They deserve everything. We deserve some crumbs if we worked for them, as long as we give a few crumbs to the king. Fucking Canada. But I have faith in my country. If they'll put their faith in God, I'll put my faith in them. You know what I mean? Hey, pay attention. Pay attention. There's a prophecy coming. I'm hoping I'll work hard for Billy to try and make his prophecy come true. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, when I started carrying on about everything that's happened to me and shit like that, it's hard for me to put my trust into another human being. You know what I mean? Who do I reach out to? Who do I try and make help make this happen? Or they show me where I'm a nutbird and I'm out of control and I got something that nobody can purchase. You got to work for it. And hey, I think I put in the work, so I think I deserve it. But I like to share the gift with others, you know what I mean, vintage? It shouldn't be that hard, you know what I mean? To just want to know the truth. Hey, what do I think the truth is? Let me take in all the information and then I can determine for myself what the truth is. Hey, vintage, never if you think I'm wrong about something, I have no problems with you telling me because I know I'm wrong sometimes. You know what I mean? I just I think it's better to correct yourself than lie in stupidity, you know what I mean? And I can tell you what, I'm always gonna tell you not to put your trust in men. Don't ever follow a man. But I'll tell you what, vintage, you can trust me. I will never try and lead you astray. Never. Because I never want to be your leader. I want you to lead yourself and know that if you want to run in the truth, I'm right there to back you up just as much as you would back me up. You know what I mean? That's what it's supposed to be about. Humanity was supposed to be about connecting and learning from each other. Instead, we let a couple fucking turds called Bill Gates, George Soros, and Klaus Schwab's fuck with our brains and we're operating the way they want us to operate. It's really unfortunate. You know what I mean? The earth could be so prosperous if the humans would just take control of it. But we got to realize we're human beings. God is inside of us. Jesus told us that. And then I told you, you are all gods. We all belong to God. I think that's why to be with God, Jesus said it, the Christ. You have to be with the Christ. You have to be with the truth. And then you can be with God. So I reside in you. So when you find me, anyways, you know what I mean. We are gods. We belong to God. The only thing is that know that there's a God and that, well, a true God would never try and hurt anybody. You know what I mean? They'd always have the best intentions, but always go through the truth and never think that you're better than anybody else. But just warn those that, maybe aren't riding in the truth that, hey, you guys believe in hell. I don't even know if it's real or not. Hey, do you want to bite onto the truth or do you want to fucking, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. What do I got down here? Oh, I write this down all the time, Duncan. Like, it's my little doodle. Some of it's like really stupid shit, but some of it's just like what I'm feeling at the time. And then I like to add on to them sometimes too. I think like a little one, like here I got, it's just a sentence that says, it's all mind over matter. And then I'll just think on that. And then it's nobody has a mind because it's always looking at its matter. And if you don't mind what should matter, then maybe when you die, you don't matter. And you know what I mean? I, I just like to build off of shit like that and just write little things like that. And I can always go back to them and build upon them if I want. You know what I mean? Like this one here. I needed everyone to find myself with just myself, to believe in myself through the truth, to know the love of God. I like that one. You know what I mean? Hey, learn from the devil. He's the best teacher. So you can give those lessons back to the devil so that those devils want to be with God. Like I said, vintage. It's a guilty pleasure watching demons just It's the only way to remove demons is with the truth, I think. You know what I mean? Jesus. I don't think Greg Locke's got the power. I'm just saying he might. I'm not one to say whether or not he has the power, but I just don't think he has the power of the truth in him. You know what I mean? Like I've said, if I possess that superpower of fucking zapping people and saying, "Hey, I want that demon out of you now," Bill Gates would be my man. I fucking would have had a plane ticket a long time ago, searching him out and just going, "Hey," and then like he's got a whole group of them. There's like 12 of them. You know what I mean? They just circle Bill. Billy be on the ground, just shaking, seeing demons flying out of him. Who knows? Maybe they go to take the demons out of Bill and he don't have no demons. You know what I mean? Maybe he's the humanitarian he's perceiving himself to be. I don't buy his perceptions. You know what I mean? I think too many people are seeing those perceptions. George Soros, you know what I mean? He's the art of perceptions, the philosopher fling. Can you imagine being such a turd like George Soros buying on to the biggest lie that was ever told? Good things happen to bad things. Who buys on to that shit, vintage? What are they promised? And why do they do it? Why would you be so fucking stupid to buy on to the biggest lie? Like, Jesus said, he's the father of all lies. He was a murderer from the beginning. He's murdering people's brains, is what he's doing, leading them down the fucking hell town. You know what I mean? They're on the highway to hell. But hey, is there time to change? Now, vintage, when we talk karma, right? Like, I think I understand karma, and it's like everybody you affect. You know what I mean? Feelings don't count. You know what I mean? If you were using the truth, you got nothing to worry about. But I'm thinking every person you affected and fucking caused a delusion in their fucking life, you're gonna fucking pay for every mind fuck you had. That's a lot. Like that to me would be hell. To feel the pain of everybody you ever caused pain upon, especially the ones that don't even know that you caused the pain upon them. Wow. That big lie becomes even worse now. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, I know what my spiritual awakening was like. I can't imagine if you're such a fucking piece of shit and you don't care about anybody or anything and you'll do whatever it takes to get yourself ahead. And well, and if you're making people, forcing them to give you a head, to feel like you're ahead, you know what I mean? You're not doing good. You know what I mean? What do you think of Emmanuel Macron? Like that guy, he's big, big trouble. Big doo-doo, deceiving the world, being part of the WEF and well, chum chum and getting your fucking bum chum fucking rising you up through the ranks, through the Rothschilds. Anyways, hey, Vintage, I hate to call this short, but I got a pie in the oven I gotta go check on. She might even be burnt. I don't know. I gotta go save dinner. You know what I mean? Have a good night.